This is the SAU Report, a program featuring interviews with the faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.
Welcome to this edition of SAU Report. I'm Maki Obata.
And I'm Mwachiro. Today we're talking with Shani Leatham, a CIS major here at SAU. Hi, Shani.
Hi, how are you doing?
Fine.
Hi.
Can you please tell us about yourself?
Myself, I'm 21 years old. I'm from Canada. I live in Toronto. I'm a junior here at SAU. My major is Business Administration, CIS. I have a whole bunch of brothers and sisters, and that's it.
Okay.
Why did you think coming up USA?
USA. My intended major was international business, and I was studying international business at home, but I felt you might as well go international to study it. You get a better understanding of the customs and the cultures if you went away to a different country rather than your own. So that's why I came.
Well, you've been in SAU for almost 2 years now. Have your views and impressions of the school changed, or have they just stayed the same?
It's not really that I had views of the school, it was more that I had views of the people in the school. And when I first came here, I didn't have any friends and I was alone, and so I was really much in my room. But after I started to make friends, and it kind of did make the school better for me, because I decided, well, I have to have a good time. And with those people, they made it easier. So in a sense, I guess my view did change from being a boring place to a place where now I can have fun because I've got people to enjoy my time with.
Do you see any difference between Canadian and American culture?
It depends on where in the United States you are. Like down south, okay. Or for example, in the United States on the East Coast, it's pretty much the same as where I live on the East Coast of Canada. But down south, it's different because there's that southern twang, and they say y'all, and fixing too, and I didn't know what that meant when I came here. It's not really much of a difference, really. It's just that I think more on the East Coast, there's more cultural differences. We have more people from the Caribbean on the East Coast, where there are less down here. So,
as an international student, what do you think the Americans view? What kind of view do you think? What do you think they think about us?
About America, about internationals.
Yeah.
I can only speak about myself.
And
I'm from Canada.
Yeah.
What I've seen, they really don't have just views. They have stereotypes. It's always cold in Canada. We live in igloos and we're Eskimos, and all we say is "a," which is true every once in a while. And they think I'm the only black person in Canada, and that's okay. It's innocent, But it's all right. You get used to it until you straighten them out and tell them it's not like that. So.
Most international students go through culture shock. Do you see any culture shock?
I think the biggest shock for me was the language. I really could not understand anything that was being said down here. Like I said, with y'all and fixing to, I didn't know what fixing to was. Someone asked me what I was fixing to do, and I couldn't understand. I thought they meant something was broken. So that's pretty much it. That and the concept of soul food. We don't have that at home. So it's just different.
You're originally from Canada, but your parents are from somewhere else. Is that true?
No, that's not it. I'm originally from Dominica.
Oh, yeah?
And I live in Canada. My mom's from Dominica. That's the Commonwealth of Dominica, not to be confused with the Dominican Republic, where my dad's from. Dominica, it's the best place in the world. It's a French Creole island. It's between Guadeloupe and Martinique. So.
What do they speak there in Dominica?
Creole and French.
No English?
We speak English, but English is the international language of the world, but Creole is just what you'll hear on the street, English for business. So.
Can you give us an example of Creole here, if you can?
Okay. If I were to say, how are you, I'd say, sakafet. Sakafet. And to answer, you'd say, mola, I'm fine, I'm here.
Mola. How is the Canadian education system?
Education system, I think personally our education system is better than the system in the United States. It's, for example, I think maybe it could be just the school I'm at. This is a good school and they've got good programs, but at the same time, the things that I've learned here, I've learned when I was in high school and in elementary school. So I guess it's just a matter of when they teach what they teach.
Cool. What can you say is your best thing about being at SAU?
Best thing, my friends, you know, just company. Like I said, the education is pretty good here. And being so far away from home, you learn to be independent and survive on your own without worrying about anybody else or without anybody worrying about you. You learn to do things on your own and makes you a stronger person.
And what is the worst thing about being here at SAU?
Transportation, or lack thereof. I can't get anywhere. I go home through Little Rock, and that's 3 hours away, and I have to fight to find someone to pick me up and drop me off at Little Rock, and then when I come back, get stranded in the airport. So that's pretty much it.
What do you miss most about Canada?
The weather. I know it sounds
weather?
corny, yeah, but I miss cold weather. I like snow, and I wish we had snow down here because I can wear my winter jacket and we roll around in the snow at home. You'll see people who are 30 years old rolling around in the snow because it's fun. We'll have snow fights and such, and my family, my friends. I miss that.
Was it hard to adjust yourself to this southern weather?
In a sense, yes. When I came down here, it was summer. It was hot and humid, and I couldn't breathe. And it gets hot at home, but we don't use air conditioning that much. And down here, I just had to be in the air conditioning all the time, like, I can't breathe. So.
You did some modeling
Yes.
prior to coming to SAU. Where did you do that?
I modeled throughout the States in New York and in California. I've modeled in France and Spain, and the Caribbean, Jamaica, and such.
Like a show or
I did
catalog?
catalog work and I did runway shows.
For real?
Yes, it was fun.
How did you prepare to be a model?
I didn't really prepare for it. When I started modeling, I was walking in the mall and these people came up to me and they're like, would you like to be a model? I'm like, get out of here. You know? And I didn't take them on, and I used to be scouted by different modeling agencies all the time. And I couldn't understand why they wanted me to be a model. I guess because I was tall. You know, I didn't consider myself pretty or anything. But then with modeling, it's all your individual, your personal, your style and your attitude. Like that's what they're looking for, individualism, individuality. It's just, you can't really prepare for it. You just go into work with an open mind and you're gonna have fun today and try not to stress yourself out. And eat food. Like some models don't eat food and be healthy.
Is it as stressing as they make it out to be?
It can be. Sometimes you can be on the road for days and you might get just a couple hours of sleep and then they have to put so much makeup on you to hide those lines, those tire lines into your eyes. And it can be stressful, but you know, sometimes most of the time it's fun because you meet new people on the way, so it's all right.
What do you like most about modeling?
I like traveling, going to exotic places. I love to travel. I like meeting the different models. We become friends after a while and like trying on new clothes and I get to keep the clothes. So, all these designer clothes, because they do cost money, I get to keep them. It's fun. I like that.
Will you be taking up modeling after you finish with school? Or?
After I finish with school, I'm not sure. I'd probably do it part-time like I'm doing now. Like I went on my Thanksgiving break to Florida and I did work there, so I might do it on holidays and such. Depends.
How long have you been modeling?
For about 4 years, since I was 17.
And the pressures haven't got to you yet?
No, I don't let them. And my mom, she won't let it get to me. She's like, if you feel that it's getting too much, just stop. And I've got those values instilled in me that I need to do things for myself and not to let people get to me and not to like there's such thing as constructive criticism, but don't listen to the negative that people have to say. Just in life, you'll get along better with that attitude if you just live life for yourself and not for other people.
How did you feel when you just get in the show or something? And were you nervous or?
My first show, I almost fell. I was so nervous I couldn't walk. My knees were wobbly, and all you saw was lights, bright lights, and you couldn't see the people. And I think I almost walked off the stage, off the catwalk. I was so nervous, and I was sweating. I was like, trying to smile, but then at the same time, you're not supposed to smile, and you have to have, do I look like this? Do I look like that? Am I doing this right? Mm-hmm. I was nervous, but then after I went out a couple times, it was okay.
Almost on the same line, you took part in the Homecoming Queen nominations this year, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Did you win?
No, I didn't win. My friend Paula Daniels won.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm glad she won because she's a friend of mine, and I'm not really used to homecoming, so it was just different for me. I guess it was an honor to be on the court.
What does it entail to become a homecoming queen?
I guess it's a popularity contest. I don't know. Like I said, we don't have homecoming at home, and this is all new to me. I have no idea what it's about.
Did you get nominated by people, the school or business, or how
I was nominated to represent Talbot Hall. I guess the board of directors for Talbot, they chose me, and then they had the first round picks, I guess you want to call it. And then from that, they had the final votings. That's how it was.
As part of the nominees, what did you get to do, or what was some of the stuff you guys did?
We went to the alumni dinner. We interacted with all the different people there. We had to take part in the parade, the homecoming parade. We went to the pep rally. It was my first pep rally, and it was so fun. I've never been to one. I saw them only on TV.
Oh, yeah?
Just things like that. You got to campaign a little bit. And, hi, I'm going to be, will you nominate me for homecoming queen? You know, things like that.
You said you went for the alumni dinner?
Right.
You interacted with some of the guests there?
Right.
You could tell that they were from a different time and different...
Mm-hmm. I spoke to more of the younger people,
Yeah.
but I spoke to a few of the, I guess you can say older people too. They're still all nice, and you can tell they're from a different time. They came to school here and telling me about how it was called Southern State College and all that. And it was fun. I like to see how they've accomplished so much, and I want to do that with myself.
So you'd like to see yourself here in
Right.
like 50 years or something?
I'm thinking about 10 years from now. 10 years from now, I'm fast tracking. I'm going to be this big executive, and I'm going to do international business with computers, traveling everywhere. And so I'm going to be the world's oldest model.
Are you going to stay US or Canada after you graduate?
That I'm not sure. If I get a position in the States, hopefully it would be on the East Coast. It would be closer to home. Otherwise, I'll go back home.
Do you have an idea of what kind of companies or what type of field you want to dwell into?
Well, like I said, my major is CIS, and I'm very interested in computers, so I want to do something that I can work with that has to do with computers. And like I said, my intended major was international business, so traveling and learning about the different cultures at the same time and incorporating computers into that, some kind of field like that I would like to do.
What do you think about going to other country, foreign country?
I would love to. I'm in a foreign country right now. It's not that different from home, but I'd love to go to England and work there. That would be really nice.
With the British, huh?
It's the British.
You participated in other projects in the school. Could
Right.
you please tell us what those are?
I was part of a dance group called the Royal Diamonds that we had last year, and we performed at halftime shows for the basketball games. We kind of started that just so we could have fun with ourselves and have aerobic exercise and to show school that we had some school spirit and such. I'm part of the BSA, Black Students Association. I'm secretary on the board. I'm on the International Students Association. That. I just like to have fun around school. I volunteer for multicultural services. Just like to have fun around school.
And what do you do at the multicultural services?
I work for Cletus Stewart. We had this thing last month, where we had senior students from different schools around the Arklatex come and look at SAU, and we were just showing them how campus life was, and about telling them about financial aid and about what it's like, how do you adjust to going from high school to college, things like that.
What was that?
It was good.
It was an eye-opener? Or?
It was. I learned a lot, and I was in school here. I've been here for about a year and a half, so.
What made you to choose SAU?
I had a cousin who came to school here, and I had a friend who came to school here, and they were both in the business programs. And at first, they had a program called International Business, but by the time I came here, it was gone. So it was kind of too late for me to change my mind, but that's why I came down here.
And it's serving you very well, the business program.
Yeah, it's doing very well. I like it.
Do you get to go places with the business school? Like, there was recently a trip to, was it New York or something?
They went to New York. I didn't go on that one. But next semester and the following semesters, I plan on going everywhere they go.
How does one join that?
To be part of the business program,
Yeah.
there's a business core that you have to fulfill. You have to have a minimum of, I think, 2.25 with that business core to be accepted into the School of Business. And once you're in, that's it.
That's it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think about the international student, ISA here?
I don't really know all the international students. It's like, I think some of them keep themselves undercover. Like I said, my first semester here, I was in my room the whole time. So it's a matter of getting to know them. I haven't really seen everyone. Like I said, I can look at people and say, maybe they're international. But as far as the international students as a group, I think we're the largest organization on this campus.
Yes, we
But
are.
you wouldn't know because we need to stick together. We don't do that much. I think we need to work on that.
What do you think we should do to make the international students, more active in the school and make themselves known?
See, we've come up with ideas, but it's a matter of whether they want to do it themselves. If we can get the international students to interact with the American students, then I think it would be easier because we have a lot of groups. There's a lot of division amongst the international students. Like a lot of the time you see the Kenyans stay with the Kenyans, the Canadians, and all two of us stay with the Canadians, and the Nepalese stay with the Nepalese. We need to learn to get along more with each other and accept each other's differences. And then I think that way we'd be a very powerful organization on this campus if we learn to accept each other's differences.
Yeah, it is true that the Kenyans, the Canadians, and Nepalese stay together. But on the other hand, they also mix much more easily than with the, the African Americans or sometimes the white Americans. You only find in the cafeteria very few white or African Americans sitting with the international students, and the rest are all.
Right.
What do you think needs to be done to kind of mix,
I think they need to set a bylaw. Especially in the cafeteria, there's that segregation, that division. You walk into the cafeteria, the black people are on one side, the African Americans are on one side, and the Caucasians are on the other. And I think if we could maybe get some programs and just cultural awareness, that would make it a lot easier. I know racism is a thing that we don't really want to talk about. We push it under the carpet. And if we can just get our views on it out and away on the side, then I think everyone would interact more freely with each other.
And that is a big problem in the
It is.
Not only in the school, but in the South,
In
right?
the South, right.
Was that a problem back home, or interaction was?
Not at all. I went to my high school example. They called my friends and myself the Rainbow Coalition because I had friends from everywhere. I had a friend from Pakistan, a friend from Poland, a friend from Spain, a friend from Guyana, myself, a friend from China. So we were just a diverse group, and it wasn't a problem for me.
What are you planning to do 2000?
Year 2000, graduate next December. Plan to do some more work, some more modeling, spend time with my family, and I'm going to travel.
How do you plan to celebrate the beginning of the millennium?
I'm going to stay home.
Hide
My
under the
friends and
bed.
and parties are past that. My friends were just going to have a little get together, a lot of candles and flashlights and batteries, just in case. So.
Do you have like Canadian traditional event or holidays?
Holidays, we have Victoria Day. That's the third Monday in May. That's representing Queen Victoria in England. We have our independence. It's July 1st. We have Veterans Day. No, excuse me. That's America. Remembrance Day. That's the same thing as Veterans Day, to remember those who are at war and such. Pretty much we have the same international holidays as everyone else, though.
But is it your Labor Day or Thanksgiving different from the United States?
Labor Day is the same. Thanksgiving is in October. It's the second Sunday of October.
It's still the same theme as the Thanksgiving.
Same theme, pilgrims, turkey, same thing. But it's just at a different time.
Do you know why it's celebrated at that period of time? Or?
I've tried to find out. No one will tell me. I guess I'll have to do more research on my own. But I don't know.
How is the food in Canada? Is it different from America?
I can say the typical hamburgers and french fries is the same, pizza and such. But because Canada is such a culturally diverse place, we've got food from all over the world. I know there are a lot of people from the Caribbean there, so we've got a lot of spicy food and a lot of food like that. And we have so many different kind of restaurants. We have Chinese restaurants, Indian restaurants, Italian restaurants, Caribbean restaurants. So that in itself is different than down in the United States, or at least not from the East Coast, but from the Midwest on to the West Coast.
South included.
South included.
You have some jerk chicken and
Right.
chicken curry.
Curry chicken, yeah.
Is that, I'm just curious, is that the same as Jamaican or is it the same type of West Indian delicacy?
Jerk chicken?
That type
It's
of
come
food.
from Jamaica. It's pretty much the same, like you'd consider Jamaica as part of the Caribbean, which
Yeah.
it is. So it's just something that you'd find more in Jamaica. And you'd consider jerk chicken and curry goat and such to be more of a Jamaican delicacy. I know where I'm from in Dominica, our delicacy, oh, thank goodness, which I don't eat, is mountain chicken. Now, mountain chicken is frogs.
Oh. The entire frog's not the legs.
Frog legs. They like frog legs.
That's not that bad.
It's horrible. I will not eat it. My mother eats frog legs and she eats shark. And she tried to make me eat octopus once, and I won't have it.
You don't like?
No, I'm not going to touch it. I refuse to. She says it tastes like rubber.
What?
I don't want to chew gum.
Just add some ketchup or something.
Some flavor.
Yeah. Well, any final questions?
What is your most unforgettable achievement or experience?
Walking on the runway for the first time. Trying not to fall off that stage, even though I almost did. I think I'll always remember being on the homecoming court because it's not something that we celebrate at home. We don't have homecoming. At least in my high school, I went to an all-girls school, we didn't even have football. That, being in Arkansas, I never thought I'd come to Arkansas. That's stories for my kids and grandkids.
Mine too.
Things like that.
Well, Shani, we appreciate your time and the interesting conversation we have.
Thank you very much.
We
Thanks
thank you
for
for
having
watching our Mwachiro.
I'm Maki Obata.
Thanks for watching.
The SAU Report is a production of broadcast journalism students in the Department of Theater and Mass Communication at Southern Arkansas University in Magnolia.